One amazing thing about the gay marriage ban that was overturned in California today was something I had known about the trial while it was happening, but I didn't really appreciate the importance of it until I read the ruling that came out this afternoon. The anti-gay marriage people, the people defending the gay marriage ban in court, only called two experts in their whole case. They only called two witnesses. The first one was this guy, David Blankenhorn. Mr. Blankenhorn is president of the Institute for American Values. Now, Judge Walker spent the better part of 10 pages of his ruling just talking smack about David Blankenhorn. Think I'm kidding? Consider this, quote, "The court now determines that Mr. Blankenhorn's testimony constitutes inadmissible opinion testimony that should be given essentially no weight." Wow. Quote, "Blankenhorn lacks the qualifications to offer opinion testimony and in any event failed to provide cogent testimony in support of proponents' factual assertions." Ow, ow. Here's another. "Blankenhorn's book, The Future of Marriage, lists numerous consequences of permitting same-sex couples to marry. Mr. Blankenhorn explained that the list of consequences arose from a group thought experiment in which an idea was written down if someone suggested it." Quote, "None of Blankenhorn's opinions is reliable." Ow, 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 ow. Back in May, New York Times columnist Frank Rich tied the same Mr. Blankenhorn to this star of the anti-gay movement who you may recognize, George Riekers. George Riekers, whose own paid testimony against gay families in Arkansas and Florida was so bad that judges in those states made special notice of how bad he was as a witness. George Riekers is nationally famous outside legal circles because in between his quacking about how to cure the gays with his National Association for Research and Therapy of Homosexuality, George Riekers was spotted, that's him there on the left, coming home in April from a 2-week European vacation with a rent boy, a young man hired through rentboy.com, a young man who'd been giving the Reverend Riekers very, very specialized massages on that vacation, although Mr. Riekers maintained that the comely young man was simply helping him with his baggage. And to the extent that baggage means a lot of other things, I suppose I can't complain. After George Riekers got caught with the rent boy in the Miami airport, Mr. Riekers resigned his position in Narth. He was gone, but his quacky scholarship lived on. Mr. Blankenhorn telling the court in California in the trial that was ruled on today that it is bad for kids to be raised by two moms or two dads. In a May 19th letter to the New York Times, Mr. Blankenhorn wrote that he'd never met George Riekers or read any of his writings. It turned out that wasn't true. Mr. Blankenhorn then wrote his own correction letter to the Times on June 3rd, admitting that actually he had consulted George Riekers' work in preparing his testimony on behalf of Prop 8. Mr. Riekers and his Narth Association thing for curing the gay people, he also turned up in the testimony of another anti-gay marriage guy who appeared at this trial. Now, this witness was actually called as an adverse witness. He was called by David Boies and Ted Olson. He was called by the side seeking to have the gay marriage ban overturned. He was called not as a friendly witness, though. His name is Hak-Shing William Tam. He identified himself to the court as secretary of the America Return to God prayer movement. And this is one of those things where the judge is so obviously disgusted by this witness that there's no way that I as a TV host can improve on what the judge just writes in the ruling about the witness. Check this out. Ready? Right. Let me get this right. Proponent Hak-Shing William Tam testified that he is the secretary of the America Return to God prayer movement, which operates the website onemanOnewoman.net. OnemanOnewoman.net encouraged voters to support Proposition 8 on the grounds that homosexuals are 12 times more likely to molest children, and because Proposition 8 will cause states, one by one, to fall into Satan's hands. Mr. Tam identified NARTH, the National Association for Research and Therapy of Homosexuality, that's the George Riekers thing, as the source of information about homosexuality because he, quote, believes in what they say. Mr. Tam identified the internet as the source of information connecting same-sex marriage to polygamy and incest. Protect Marriage, the Proposition 8 campaign, relied on Mr. Tam and, through Mr. Tam, used the website onemanonewoman.net as part of the Protect Marriage campaign. So that's directly from the ruling. So in other words, dude learned from the rent boy guy that gays are bad, and he knows that George Reekers must be right about that because the man believes George Reekers. Also, he says, as backup, the internet says so. This was the case for California's gay marriage ban. This was the case they put forward. The Hakshing William Tam part of the trial transcript was actually so amazing, you deserve to see part of it acted out by the Proposition 8 Trial Reenactment Theater.
Where did you get that idea?
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet?
Yeah.
You know what else is on the internet now? Judge Vaughn Walker's ruling in this case, which I kid you not, is better than whatever novel you are currently reading right now, and you should print it out and curl up with it instead. You will not be disappointed. It's on the internet.